Hi, this is Peter Godinez, your ambassador, K80Y TV, and we have a combination here of Good Morning Oxnard, but then I have the opportunity to meet a candidate, and I want to tell you just how excited I am to finally get a celebrity like Wayne Edmonds here to come into the studio and tell us about himself. And so, welcome so much, and I mean that sincerely. It's so exciting to finally have you here. But I just want to start. Where did all this begin with Wayne? You know, where were you born? And tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I'm a local. I was born in Santa Paula, and my family moved to Port Hueneme, South Oxnard in 1950. So I grew up and attended Hueneme Elementary, graduated from Hueneme High School, attended Ventura Junior College for 3 semesters, and then graduated with my bachelor's degree from Long Beach State. So in 1972, I returned to Hueneme High School as a teacher and spent 38 years in the Oxnard Union High School District.
Wow. So let's just go back a little bit in time. So did you grow up in a traditional type family, mom, dad, brothers and sisters to fight with, argue with?
I had one sister.
Okay.
It was a traditional family.
Okay.
Port Hueneme and Oxnard were a lot smaller then. They
I
were
can
small
imagine,
communities, and so it was a traditional family.
So we talk sister older or younger?
I have a sister that's 3 years older, and she also went to Hueneme High School.
So you learned how to deal with an empowered woman, and she taught you that, right?
Well, I tried to.
It's always an effort. Was there were your parents any type of mentors? Do you think you were more like your mom, your dad? Was there an experience that you learned through how they led you as parents?
Well, I think my parents instilled a strong feeling in doing the right thing, making a difference. And I think that I had a number of mentors as teachers growing up, particularly Jim Cherry at Hueneme High School, who was a basketball coach. And that's one of the reasons that I went into teaching. And initially I was also a basketball coach.
Really?
So, yeah.
So some of the memories you have of this area, what do you remember most, having the opportunity to grow up in Santa Paula, Oxnard? What were some of the sites, landmarks that you remember that are still here or maybe gone?
Well,
people don't know about.
A lot of them are gone over the years. I remember the Greyhound bus station about 300 yards from here.
Mm-hmm.
The original Oxnard Boys Club was right down the street. And so we had Santa Cruz Market at the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, a lot of things have changed, but it's still a community where people care and can make a difference in the lives of kids.
Now, as the basketball experience, what position did you play? I mean, this is what I find interesting. Center?
I played forward.
Forward.
And during junior high school, I went to E.O. Green and we won the Rotary basketball tournament.
All right.
We were undefeated. And then I went to Hueneme High School and played basketball there. And then when I went to Ventura College, my freshman year, I also played basketball.
Okay. And then so that you got as far as high school then, and you play in any adult leagues now? Do you still try to do a 3-point shot or anything like that nowadays?
Well, when I played basketball, they didn't have a 3-point shot.
But you could
that
go
was
for 3 points.
Yes. You could shoot from that range, but you didn't get 3 points.
But I bet you, so anyway.
Yeah. A few years ago, I coached basketball in Camarillo,
Okay.
CYBA for my grandkids.
Yes, yes.
And so that was enjoyable. You know, I think you don't have to be as concerned with winning, and you can play everyone, and it's kind of a leisure type pace, and so that's very nice.
That is good. Now, going to Long Beach, you know, that's known for having a tradition of basketball and athletics. Did you do any recreational types of things there?
No, they had an intramural league, but I really didn't participate. At that time, Jerry Tarkanian was at Long Beach, and they were beaten by UCLA in the Western Regionals, but they were about 24-1, 24-2. So Long Beach State had some very competitive, successful basketball programs.
Now, what did you major in while you were at Long Beach State?
I was a history major.
And was that pretty easy for you? Were you pretty academic back then, or?
I think it was something that interested me, you know, but later when I entered the job market and I was trying to find a teaching position, it would have certainly been better if I'd majored in math or science.
You think so?
There was a surplus, there was an oversupply of social science teachers, and math and history were statewide shortage areas, so yes.
That's interesting. And then, so what were some of the experiences in college that you think really kind of made you who you are right now? Do you recall any experiences that shaped who you are right now?
Well, I had some excellent social science teachers. And, you know, I completed my 5th year at Long Beach State. And so I took some classes in education. There was one teacher, Alfred Schmidt, who taught in the area of special education. And then I took some courses, and actually when I was hired at Hueneme, I was a special ed teacher for about 7 years. And then eventually went into school psychology. And later in my career, I was a school psychologist at Rio Mesa and Camarillo High School.
So did you have to go get your master's after Long Beach State, and did you get you got your doctorate degree as well?
No, I don't have a doctorate.
Okay,
I
with the
received a
master's.
master's in counseling and guidance from Long Beach State.
Okay, so
And then I did my postgraduate work at Northridge in school psychology.
And then you got your credential at the same place, or did you do that at a different?
My initial credential was from Long Beach State,
Okay.
and it was a single subject credential. And then my counseling and psychologist credential were from Cal Lutheran and Northridge.
So after all the educational part, and I'm sure you always are continuing to educate yourself, what was your very first job? Was it here in the Ventura County area?
Yes, it was.
And that was, and you probably mentioned it, I'm sorry that I lost order.
Well, you know, I graduated from Hueneme in the 60s, and I
Okay.
returned as a classroom teacher in 1972.
Really?
So my first
Okay.
teaching job was at Hueneme High School,
And that subject was?
special education.
Okay, all right, okay. And so did you get a chance with all this business to start your own family? It sounded like you had enough, your hands full with the mom and dad, and the older sister was bossing you around everything, but.
Well, when I came back to Oxnard, I met my wife, and incidentally, she was from Long Beach, but I didn't know her when I
Oh.
lived in Long Beach. So I
Too
met her
busy
after I
studying
came back
away,
to
huh?
Long Beach. Yes. So yes, and we have 2 children. I had a son, Ethan, and a daughter, Kimberly. They're both graduates of Camarillo High School, both products of the public educational system.
Wow.
And my daughter is a school teacher in San Diego, Sweetwater High School District.
Okay, and she teaches the.
She had been a special ed teacher,
Oh,
but
okay.
now she's the assistive technology specialist for the entire district.
Wow, so this runs in the gene pool then?
Well, she went into a similar field, that's true.
Okay, all right. No grandchildren at this point, or?
I have 2 grandchildren. I have one that is a junior high student at Las Colinas, and the other one is a freshman, a 14-year-old freshman at Rio Mesa High School.
Any basketball genes in this thing?
He's 6'2".
Ooh.
He, I think, will be a good basketball player, but right now he's playing football. And Rio Mesa's freshman team is 7-0. They're averaging over 50 points a game, and he scored several receptions, touchdowns, several extra points, and he's starting on the offensive defensive team, so he's having a great year.
Well, that's good. I bet you like to go and watch.
I'll be there Thursday of this week.
Are you a calm fan, or do you like to sit there and scream out advice like some fans I see?
I'm a pretty mellow fan.
Oh, I bet you
So
are.
I'm
I bet you
calm.
are.
I'm calm.
And your wife and you, I'm sure you do some fun things together. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the things you do recreationally, or?
Well, we travel.
Okay.
What we're doing right now is we have a community garden.
Oh.
And so at the Camarillo First Baptist Church, they have community garden, and so we have 2 plots, and so we grow a variety of things, zucchini, pumpkin, tomato, so we're pretty involved.
Well, that's really neat, a connecting point now. I'm really impressed with your educational passion. I connect with you there. And I would just like to ask you, what would be some of your visions with all the background you have in education, especially special education, and what you want to accomplish, if re-elected to the position of Board of Trustees, if I could ask you that question?
Well, you know, being a trustee is an important position because we're involved in approving the district's curriculum and the district's budget. And I know that if you provide a quality education for students, you provide options for them, you prepare them for college and careers, they have the tools that they can be successful and transition into the world of work, so they can provide for themselves, their family, and those they care about. So I think education is a critical time in the life of a teenager. And the 4 years that they're in high school are extremely important because it can truly make a difference in the lives of kids.
That's amazing. Now, if you were just to kind of say, just vision for us and even make it a little bit of a dream, and from 4 years from now, what would you see the Oxnard Union High School looking like?
You know, I think technology is changing the way we operate. And I think that, you know, we're buying devices, we're implementing the Common Core curriculum, a very rigorous curriculum. Our students will be able to compete with those students in China, India. Our math and science scores should increase. And I think technologically we're going to make some advances. I think that, you know, historically high school hadn't changed much in the last 50 years. But you're going to see more online textbooks, and you're going to be seeing a number of changes in the next 3 to 4 years.
Wow. Well, I got your back. Big fan of you, so I wish you much Godspeed with everything you do, and I really appreciate you taking the time and coming down and talking to me and our audience at KDY TV. So with that, thank you. And this is Peter Godinez, your ambassador with KDY TV with Wayne Edmonds. Until next time.
Thank you.
It is what it's about.